Thank you, everybody, and welcome for joining me. My name is Red Baron. Wonderful, wonderful, happy Christmas to everybody that's out there and all my Fibby family. So, a lot of you guys were probably not expecting I was going to do a Christmas broadcast, and of course, I just was kind of feeling the mood. And I got such a cool graphic here, I had to use it. So, I have to do a Christmas graphic, and I have to do a Christmas show to support my Christmas graphics. So, that's my excuse for doing it. So, I had some Jack Daniels infused and butter. See, so Chase made me a masterpiece here. So he did a Jack Daniels infused butter, cinnamon, caramel based pressure cooked turkey. And I'm telling you what, that is heaven by the slice. It is absolutely amazing. So we'll talk more about things. We'll talk more about Christmas dinners, more about Christmas plans, more about that sort of thing, about what's coming up in the year to come. And I'm going to go radio silent here for a couple minutes while I put everything out to social media, same as we always do, and let everybody file into the chat, and I will be right back. So hang tight. Welcome, one and all. Glad to have you with me again. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Red Baron. Thank you very much for joining me on this wonderful Christmas Eve. It's no snow outside, but we're still calling it Christmas. So thank you for spending some time this evening. Suppose you guys got everything you wanted for Christmas, got your presents, and you're just sitting in a pile of wrapping, watching me on your cell phone. So I'm happy to be a part of your Christmas Eve. So thank you for joining me and taking time out of your family life to be with me. Same as always, this is our family. We call it the Fibby Fam, and We're a tight little knit little group of people. So for those of you who are joining us the first time, we'd love to have you join us in our Discord. You can do that at theunfairadvantage.chat. And if you'd like that link one more time, you can find it in the description box below. That's theunfairadvantage.chat. No charge to be in our group, and we have a really good group of people. If you're looking for somebody or looking for a group of people that take crypto seriously, no spammers, no skateboard kids, a mature group of people that literally have crypto on their minds and they want to get better, they want to get richer, they want to change their life. This is a good group, and you guys would love to be a part of it. So we certainly invite you to be a part of it. Join us at theunfairadvantage.chat. Now tonight we're gonna be using charts from phibicharts.com. That's this website here. So this is powered by AI powered stuff called Anubis and ISIS, which are AI powered bots that run our stuff, and you can get that at phibicharts.com. So Chase, our master programmer and genius behind this whole system, has kind of just redone the subscribe button. So we no longer have tell me more here. So some of you guys that are familiar with this, we're updating the website a little bit, and he's hot rodding this thing because he can't leave anything alone. So we've got a new layout now for all the different packages and stuff like that. So if you guys are watching that are new to the live stream, or some of you guys that are wanting to kind of get in, tomorrow be watching. I'm a little bit late here because I'm like I said, I had at the top of the show, I just had Chase made Jack Daniel's cinnamon butter and caramel based turkey, pressure cooked, and this was the most outrageously good turkey I've ever had in 54 years. I'm just now feeling human again 6 hours later. It just wiped me out. I cannot stop eating this. It is the best stuff in the world. So I'm falling behind a little bit on what I wanted to do today, so you'll have to forgive me for that. I'm going to have tomorrow, we're going to have a late Christmas price package for you guys that want to get in. We're going to have some sales. We're going to do a Christmas sale, but didn't happen because I have a turkey excuse. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So we're going to do that. So be looking for that tomorrow. So if you guys want to get in, subscribe to the charts and stuff like that, you want to get the end of the year deal, we're going to offer that. Now, for you guys that were in the last gold special for my birthday, we still have you over on the Discord. We still have you in a special group of people, so I want you to pay attention to that because you guys that got in on the last gold package, we're going to give you a chance to upgrade to platinum and see what's going on in platinum. So that offer is coming up here pretty soon, so watch that room, and you only qualify for that if you got in on the last gold special on my birthday back in October. So we'll talk about that later on. If you have any questions, just ask the moderators here. I'll bring them up to speed here tomorrow, and those offers will be posted probably by late tomorrow, so on Sunday. So let's get going, rock and rolling. So big news, lots of stuff going on. It's been kind of quiet. We haven't been on the broadcast here. We haven't been public. We haven't been VIP. Where am I been? Well, I don't think it takes any amount of time with us to realize that I've been involved in our DAO project. That is probably the greatest thing we've ever done. This DAO project that we're in is paying over 150,000 APY, compounding 3 times a day. You heard me right. 150,000 APY compounding 3 times a day. And for those of you that know how to do math, it's compounding 90 times a month. Just imagine the output that this thing is putting out. So we have got most of our diamonds have reserved their spot. We've worked our way down through platinum, so now we're throwing it open to the general group. So if you guys would like to be involved in our DAO project, if you'd like to get into the thing that we're doing, what we're doing is we're using a certain DAO that's out there. And we're creating our own Discord, and we're going to be monitoring it and doing health checks and getting my general oversight and my very talented team's general oversight on this, so you're not wandering around in the wilderness. And it's a complex project to get into. You know, you got to trade one coin for another, stand on one leg, bark at the moon, wait for the third Thursday of the month, and after all that stuff goes, you find your way into the crypto. It's not a fun project to try and trade one coin for another, but our group will help you get into it. We found some streamlined ways to do it, so our oversight is well worth it. The last thing in the world you want to do is try to trade one shit coin for another to work your way into something that hopefully will change your life and end up losing your money doing that. So we're cheap insurance along the way. Not only that, but we're opening up a second Discord server that's going to be exclusively dedicated to that project. And because the unfair advantage is basically about charts and graphics and crypto, and the DAO thing has become a smashing success. I've been involved in it for 6 days, and it is legit, folks. It's the real deal. I've got some pretty hardcore money involved in this thing, and where I go, you follow. So I would never ask you guys to get involved in something that I haven't gone further in. And the pitch that I tell people is, if we all take a bath, nobody's getting wetter than I am. So I'm 6 figures into this thing. So I best of all of us, I best hope this is going to work. But I see great things with this. I see immediate output. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I'll be bringing that up through the show tonight. And we're going to run some charts and kind of figure out what's going on here with the market, because here we are at the end of the year. We had just what I call a Santa Claus pump. We'll go ahead and get into the charts here in just a second. This pre-Christmas thing that we had, it's not a market rally. I want to be very, very, very upfront about that. I want to make sure you guys understand. It's called a Santa Claus rally, and it happens in the stock market. It has happened in the stock market for years and years and years. It's known. It's expected. It ain't nothing new, folks. So as we look at this right now, we're looking at Bitcoin on the 1 day. You can see it ain't no thing in the grand scheme of things. it's not really game changing. So what I'm expecting here, let's just go ahead and start with Bitcoin. So again, we are on the 1 day chart. We're still following everything that I plotted out weeks and weeks and weeks ago, still going down. We're going up within a downstroke. So we're walking across the top of this right now. It's not showing me anything really that looks tremendously pumpy. So let's cut to the chase. Is the worst of it over? No, I don't see the worst of it over yet. So now that I've been kind of quiet for a while, a lot of you are wondering, have I changed my opinion on what the market's going to do? No, no, and no. The bottom line is right here. I'm still expecting us to fall into this purple zone, easily into this purple zone, and kind of strike that area right there. And pretty much what I expect in the greater scheme of things. I'll show you kind of. I don't want to overjunk this up, but basically from here to here, from pit to point, will take us to the top of this gray box here. So I think probably here, it's kind of hard to put a time frame on it, but let's just say what's going to happen in the downway is going to happen probably before, well, the first 6 weeks of next month. We've still got a little bit of time, so we still got roughly about 7 to 8 weeks till we see bluer skies ahead. I don't really think we're going to see, at least currently what I'm looking at right now, I don't see anything that would lead me to believe that bluer skies are ahead just yet. We have an incident or an event that I'm anticipating. I'm still not clear to be able to talk about this yet through my 21 group. Sounds like February is going to be some poop, guys. It's going to be bad. So I want to make sure that I've spent the last 2021 talking about how to get ready for when things get bad. They've given us our little holidays and our little family get-togethers, but the big bad Biden boogeyman is coming, and it's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse. But we are going to rise up as a people, and we are going to be just fine. So never doubt the human spirit. But it's going to get darkest before the dawn, and I want you guys to know that I completely understand that a lot of you guys have unsubscribed because you're going through hard times, and I feel for you. You're certainly not set on the curb. We'd love to have you join and still be part of our general chat. When things turn around for you, as I hope they do, that you'll come back into the fold again. But nonetheless, some of you guys that have jumped into the Dow, we will talk about this. I don't have charts yet for the Dow, so let's go ahead and talk about this as long as I'm on this, and we'll get on to the regular charts and stuff like that. Some of you folks that are following the Dow, are getting in, are already seeing daily paychecks. And I told you, Tiny Tank. I actually did the unthinkable. You folks that are in our Discord, you know the Queen of Shiba is Tiny Tank, and she's the greatest cheerleader for that coin, and I actually did the unthinkable. I got her to jump ship and come into my DAO project. And I just told her that dog ain't hunting, man. It ain't hunting. So everybody that's in Shiba is starting to kind of question it, and I'm questioning it. And I would, my stance is I will not sell the coin at loss, but I did in this case. It's kind of hard not to, and so I took a 27% loss on Shiba. Unthinkable in any other way. And I put it into the DAO project, and I've already got my money back inside of 3 days. Not too shabby. And so, and it continues to compound and compound and compound. So, if you guys are not knowing what I'm talking about, I don't want to get into this whole project as a sales pitch because I don't have any dog in the fight of the development of this. However, we do have a good in with the developers, from what I'm understanding. Some of our mods are having conversations with them. I don't. I think that's always good to have inside information when you can get it, or inside conversations. But we do have some very talented people that watch this and give us health checks and stuff like that. And so the proposition is, if you're with us, we move as a block, so you're not floundering around in the woods wondering, should I sell this or shouldn't I? You know what the rest of the temperature of the group is, and we can move as a block, and we can keep this thing from waterfalling and going into the pit of hell. So that's kind of the way that I look at the DAO. And so I'm planning on, according to the group that I've got here and the outside group that I'm bringing in, we're going to be bringing about, roughly by my calculation, about $10 million into this group. And that's $10 million worth of basically secure wall fortress around your little investment in the middle. So that's pretty cool. And I've talked to some real power players that are members of this group that I had no idea that were in this group. So it turns out quite a few deep pockets in the Phoebe family, and they've gone very, very deep in this, and they're already seeing rewards out of it. Even the guys that have gone minor and meager, they're seeing rewards. So quite happy for that. So back to my original point is, you guys that are kind of on the fence right now, you're looking at your crypto and it's just sucking. It is. It's just been, I haven't been on air because there's just not that much to say. I had a guy that was kind of squawking at me. He's like, well, the content, there just isn't that much content. Listen, if there's nothing to say, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to just sit here and just run my mouth. If there's nothing to say, I'm not going to say it, because people got time people need time to get their lives in order. They don't need to listen to me just talk and talk and talk and say nothing. So we're going to take a look at the market today. I'm going to give you my opinions, and we're going to see what I see for now. But I will tell you, to preface this, that I don't see anything that's necessarily indicating a direction for the market yet. I anticipate downward, though. Before we go higher, we must go lower. So we're still looking like that right now. So let's go ahead and get off of Bitcoin. I think that this is a very realistic prospect to kind of come down here. And again, to kind of give you the first window of opportunity here, the first window, 35 doesn't scare me at all. I think that we will hit 35 probably by the end of the year. Don't necessarily have to be the exact end of the year, but before it's all said and done, wouldn't surprise me if we're seeing down here and probably into the box. So 29, and of course, I have forecasted lower. That remains to be seen. But we take it one deck of the cards at a time. So the first move that I'm looking for, signposts along the way to the road to hell. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the top of this box, the bottom of the box, out of the box to the next marker. So let's move on. Let's get back up on my main chart part here. All right. So Ethereum, just pretty much all through the latter part of 2021, Ethereum has really kind of separated itself from Bitcoin. It used to be the top three move as a block. Ethereum, as I look at it, looks to me like it's on its way up. It doesn't look like we're in the way to go lower. I think this is still going to continue to move higher. I see some healthy moves here, and I think we're ready. And again, I'm looking at the 15-minute. All the indicators are basically turning upwards, so I think we're still clear to go higher. I think that this dual AI line that's up here, not going to be very long, guys. Not going to be very long. Certainly within a month and a half, we might be generally in this zone right here. I'm looking for 5,600 to be our first real check-off point, because that's halfway to the goal. Hang on just a second here. I'm getting some notifications, something about my mouse battery going dead, but it seems to be working all right. Okay, there we go. But anyway, I'm expecting probably before it's all said and done, you guys know how magnetic these dual AIs are. So we're looking at probably about 69, 69.20. Let's just make it an even 69 as our upper end goal. Um, we've had lots of opportunity back here when I told you buy on the dips. Never heard that before, right? But we are still in a dip, basically. Now, will we go lower? I have my doubts. I really do. But if it wants to get sucked into the vortex, if we get into a hellacious drop, yes, it could. So I think where we're looking at here, let's go ahead and kind of try to make some sense of this. I think basically that's your velocity area is going to be picking up. So you can see how that arrow changes as we go, because what we're using is we're using something called logarithmic scale. But it's possible if we really got nasty, we could come down probably at about the halfway point, right about here. So I would say about 32 to 32.50 might be your reasonable bottom if we continue on down. But I believe that we will ricochet off that. But in a crash, hard push down scenario, your next level down is here. So let's get that changed into a proper color here. TA would indicate that, so we'll go ahead and make that an orange TA. So reasonably speaking, though, I would probably be looking for around about there as being a bottom, a mild bottom. We'll go down here and then probably check up a little bit more. So in a down scenario, this is reasonable, this is expected. In a harder, and then we'll have to reevaluate. But basically, you're looking at here, here. Oops, sorry, here, here, and then here as being your three. You've got a lot of support and resistance right there, and to the bottom of that, that's a pretty solid drop there. You're looking at 57%. I don't think it's going to go that low. I really don't. That's 41%. So I would negate this as even being a reality. Whoops, excuse me. Get back in there. ISIS doesn't like it when I do that. There we go. All right. So your window of possibility, worst slash best case scenario are probably those two lines right there for Ethereum. And you're looking at 24.25, and you're looking at 39.90. Let's just go, or let's say 3,300. Sorry, 3,300. So 3,300 very possible. 23, 23, 24. Yeah, we'll just make it 24 probable. All right. Hang on for a second here. I'm going to move my chat over so I can see what you guys are saying here. There we go. All right. So here's something we never talk about anymore. I was joking with the man. I said, "You never notice this group only obsesses about one coin at a time? How long has it been since we've been obsessing about XRP? That's so 2020, So we all know this is going to do its thing at some point in time, but I think we've all kind of resigned ourselves to the fact that we better find a faster pony, and we thought that was Shiba, and Shiba's just not doing jack. And so here we are on the second evolution of trying to find a faster coin, and we've got the DAO, and the DAO is actually delivering as promised. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. And again, it's been at least 100 hours since I've truly taken a trip through these charts and kind of got a sense. So I'm coming in dry. I like to do that while I'm on live stream, so I'm giving you the clear, unfiltered opinion of what I'm looking at. I had done some earlier calls on this, or I'd done some earlier speculation. We're still within that. Now, you guys know how this works. This is nothing new. You guys have been around long enough to know how this goes. This needs to be readjusted, so that's going to put you right here on this line. So I'm expecting a breakout. If we continue within this, I'm expecting a breakdown, because the flat side is where we commonly break out on our triangles. We break out to the bottom, and that's going to take us likely here. But I can also move that velocity if we happen to get a turnaround. It could take you right down here onto the dot. Let's just take it to the extreme. What's likely to happen is, of course, obviously we'll get a 50% stop right there. But if she goes full boat, we could go down to 14, 15 cents on XRP, guys. I told you that this thing, if it goes really, really bad, you can expect to see 20 to 22 cents XRP with further wicks down. It's possible. It's still in the cards. I know that sounds funny when you're looking at a near dollar XRP, but again, Santa Claus rally. Don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously. You can see that it's already, or that it's still inside of a chart that I made long before Christmas came along. Or inside of a formation long before Christmas came along. It's not showing you anything that wouldn't be normal. It just looks, on the micro, it looks very bullish. On the macro, not so much. So we still have the probability, the possibility. Here's 55 cents, right at the 50% mark. I've said this many times. For the new viewers, I think it's probably best that I always like to kind of circle the wagons and go back and re-explain some basic concepts. And it's been a long time since I've explained to the new people how ISIS and Anubis work. I'm not going to do that on a Christmas special, but we're going to start the year by making a video specifically to teach you guys what exactly is going on here with all the automated intelligence bots that are built into this thing, and why it works. Because I know a lot of you old schoolers, you understand how timelines work, you understand how AI lines work, and how our new pulse lines work. But the new guys that are joining have no idea how powerful this system is that they're looking at. So we're going to go back, and I hate to do this every single time I do a broadcast because it does get old to listen to. But I'm going to cover a specific video, and then we'll just start sweeping people to that specific video so that I don't have to do this over and over and over again. But that being said, currently right now, I'm not seeing any reason why we shouldn't get to 55 cents. As I was saying in one of my older videos, that I believe that the floor for the common man, the easy to get into, or easiest or possible to get into, level for XRP might be around about 50 to 55 cents. I've been saying it for probably about 3 months, and I think anything lower than that might be a crapshoot, might be a sincere gamble, because I think that when we go from here to here, it would happen in a wick so fast that exchanges are having their maintenance and whatever all else you want to call it, and you ain't getting in. So 50 to 55, maybe possibly 45 if you're lucky. If you got the wind at your back, then you might be able to pull that off. So if you want to do some buys on these lines, I'll tell you right now where I would have you buy them, or I would give you my blessing. Put her right in at 50 cents, right down the middle, and just take it. If you can get it, take it. Put a buy in at 50 cents. Cross your fingers, see what happens. And I do believe that we will go down that low, if not lower. So, all right, not to get any further in that. And by the way, Merry Christmas, everybody. So you're looking pretty hot there in your red sweater there, Tiny Tank. And she's posting pictures in Fibby chart. Just trying to get all the guys heated up on Christmas. You're gonna make me want to come to Florida. All right, so XLM again, Christmas rally, but XLM is definitely parted company. I haven't checked that ratio. I want to do that, by the way. So we're looking at 90, 91 cents, and we're looking at we're still running 3 to 1. It feels like we're gaining ground on XLM and losing ground on XRP, but we're still managing the 3 to 1 ratio. I'm waiting, like I said, I'm waiting to see XLM out accelerate XRP, but not yet. I'm waiting for that ratio to start closing 2 to 1. 1.5 to 1. Again, going way back in our history of those two coins, there was a point in time where XLM actually sold for more than XRP. Wasn't long, but it did happen. So nothing, this is crypto. Never, never, never doubt that it's possible. But right now, as far as should you be getting into XLM, that's a rounded bottom. Ain't no denying it. That's a rounded bottom. So it's putting off a signal. You could I can't compress this anymore. You could kind of make the argument that is a loose interpretation for a cup and handle, but that'd be more like this. We're kind of starting to spin off that direction. So it's not a classic cup and handle. But if we want to just kind of ballpark what's possible, we could kind of maybe put a sloppy guess in here. And we could say it's possible that we could go banging up here on that dual AI line. That'd be a hell of a good run if we can do it. That would take us up about 10, 11%. I think we could probably pull that off. At least 5%. I don't see any. Well, yeah, I do actually. Probably right about there is about where she's going to tap off of and maybe rethink its direction a little bit. So we're looking at probably 5.5%. So I don't think, and the reason I'm saying that to kind of go back, so you guys are wondering where I'm pulling this out of, we've got some resistance starting right here. So we're not just going to blast straight up to that dual AI line. We're probably going to come up, tap that, and then we'll have to see how the cards play after that. But I'm not seeing a clear path to an 11% run for XLM, and especially if I'm telling you the rest of the market's not doing that well. So that would fit the broader narrative. So XDC, and I'm going to keep injecting this Dow back into the conversation, and this is where I'm going to do this with XLM. So you guys that have been in the Discord, and that's the unfairadvantage.chat, have heard very little about this DAO and what it does. And we will be doing for VIP, we will be doing a special, well, actually for DAO investors, we're going to be doing a special report tomorrow. We're going to be doing an inside report on the VIP in the DAO room at the unfairadvantage.chat. So you're certainly welcome to join that if you'd like to be a part of this project. And yes, you should. Yes, you should, as far as I'm concerned. Just simply private message me on the Discord and say, hey, I want to get in on this thing. Generally speaking, I would originally we were going to do this as a corporation. We're going to sell shares, but that just kind of turned into a mess because after hearing the cost of doing that and the delay, too much money running under the bridge, and we just can't have that. So we simplified the entire process. And so now basically we can take on all comers. Obviously, if you're in Diamond, you get treated better, you get a better rate, whatever, and you get down and down and down from there. Everybody's welcome to come into this. However, if you're a higher level of subscriber, you go straight to the head of the line. If you are a diamond just now hearing about this and you're like, well, I want to get in on this, then you go straight to the head of the line. If you're a platinum, you're right behind that. If you're a platinum pro, you're kind of between those two. But if you're a gold, you're next in line. And if you're general population, we can put you in line as long as we got time. So just realize that with membership comes privileges. So that's how we treat you. Now, what we're going to be doing with that, we're going to be actually creating a separate Discord that's going to have different investor levels. And so we'll be able to track and know how much money you got into this stuff and be able to kind of put out the relevant messages to the relevant block of money being spent. And but what we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to be doing on the unfairadvantage.chat. We have a DAO room. We're going to be doing Red Bear and I are going to be doing a little tech chat. We're going to be talking about the pros and the cons and the future looking forward, the expectation, possibly some of the strategies. I'm going to discuss one of these strategies with you right now. I'm going to be kind of vague because you haven't got the full understanding of what's going on, but I'm going to kind of give you the basics of this, how it relates to just itself as an investment, but also the blessing this thing can come. I'll sum it up this way. This thing, if you treat it right, if you invest it the way that it should be done, if you listen to yours truly and you play it the right way, what you have is a certifiable dry powder creation machine running on infinity. It's nuts, guys. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. After about 65 to, let's just call it about 45 to 90 days, mathematically, according to what we're seeing, is your invested capital should be back, should be back, and you're basically running on canned air, what I call free money. And you could take that free money and put it into a project like XDC, catch all these low ISO coins, and it's just, wine and roses from that point forward. It's awesome. So we'll talk about that a little bit more here. So let's go ahead and take a look at XDC first, so we'll have a specific discussion about that. So right now, we're just basically in kind of hold mode. I did this earlier, what's with the up and the down. So this is basically our market in general. It's in specific. I can show you an opening move right there. So this represents a closing move going up or a closing move going down. ISIS is running very, very tight bands right now. She's not showing anything and the market's not showing anything. So I can't show you a direction on something that's not tipping its hat or showing its hand. So, but what I am seeing is seeing an 8-cent investment right now, and on an ISO compliant coin that is now. What's the status? If somebody could possibly fill me in on this, last I heard, 100 plus hours ago, XDC is now available on Coinbase or Coinbase Pro. Could somebody please chime in on that and let me know what's going on that? Last I heard that this hard to get crappy wallet coin can now be traded on Coinbase. And what's that got to theoretically, what's that got to do for the value? Well, don't go asking Cardano people that, the day after it gets listed. But I'm telling you that, when things turn around, people are going to go shopping for cheap coins and they're going to look over here and go, wow, here's a cheap coin for, 6, 8 cents. Let's get some of that, and this is not going to stay at 8 cents for very long, not much longer. So if you're into the Dow and it's spinning off basically residual cash that you can invest. You can keep growing your Dow fund and you can keep growing your money, spinning off profits. You can take those profits and you can put them into other coins and on and on and on and on and on. So we'll be showing you how to do that in the other Discord. But suffice it to say that this is pretty much the killer app you guys have been wanting. I've been wanting to bring you guys something like this. We hoped Shiba was going to be it. We had an opportunity in October. It did exactly what I told you it was going to do. Blasted off when I was halfway to the birthday party in Georgia, and Robinhood just didn't step in, and so November was a fat lot of nothing. December, as we can now see, is much ado about nothing. And to be very candid on Shiba, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but um, to put it lightly, I don't see that it's going to do anything until we have a coin burn, and there's no solid plans of a coin burn. So I don't really think that I don't think Robinhood's going to be the big savior everybody's talking about. We'll talk a little bit more about my deeper thoughts on Shiba as we get to Shiba, but back to XDC. So right now we're still in a very, very good buy price. Honestly, I would still be. I've originally bought in clear up here at 14 cents. There's no shame in buying it again at 14 cents. But right now you're looking at damn near half that. So anything under 10 cents is still a fabulous buy. So should I buy it right now? You could. You could. But again, I'm telling you the rest of the market is probably still going to come down. It's looking very likely. So this red arrow is probably better than 75% odds. Green arrow is probably 25% odds, just to let you know. I can see support and resistance at the halfway point, right down the middle, right there. So the fact that we would probably hit 6, let's just call it 7 cents, is just about a certain guarantee in a downward stroke. So if you want to set a buy for XDC, now that you can get it on Coinbase, if I'm right about that, you can put in a 7 cent order and she will fill. Just about sure of it. So I noticed a lot of our new diamonds are Theta investors. So we're going to start talking about Theta more. So they've been paying, they subscribed, they paid their diamond membership with Theta. So now I'm a Theta holder. So there you go. So just when I thought I was out, they draw me back in. So I'm a Theta holder, and I'm a Theta holder right here at this marker. So I'm slightly up. We had a little bit of downturn. That's the great that's the great problem. I swear to God, if you ever want to know when a market's going to go down, just check one of these. Anytime you see one of these payments come in from a diamond, you could just about damn well bet the minute I get paid, the freaking market's going to go straight in the crapper. And it seems to happen every single time. And but it's no big deal. I'm getting paid. And I'm holding it. I'm in it for the long stroke. So I'm not going to try to trade my way to it. I'm not going to average down. I don't chase falling knives. So it's fine. It's cool. It's coming around. And is this necessarily the start of anything big? Well, I see this, and I've been mentioning this for a while. I'm just going to take this in the downward direction. I see a very long velocity opening move. So what can we do with that? Let's play around with this and see what we can get going on. For every opening move, there must be a closing move. You guys that have been with me for a while, you understand that concept, but I'm not going to belabor that right now. But you can see, and I'm not spot on accurate, but I'm just kind of taking a general look at where we're at. So this is not necessarily the pivot point. I need to know the pivot point before I can plug in the velocity. But if I was just horsing around with this looking for some reasonable expectations, I would not be too far gone from probably assuming. Yeah, let's see here. I'm really looking forward in the future here, but yeah, I would say so. So if this, we have a hard bot. That's bots right there. That's a hard bot run up here to this line right here. That's not a dual AI. No, that's just a regular standard. So to go up to this line here, let's shorten that down a little bit. So to come up here to this line, it's possible that we could reject off of this and start breaking down, and it will likely break to the 50% point of that downward velocity, which would put you right basically right there. And you can see we've got a lot of support and resistance right there, so that makes complete perfect sense. So the fact that we could drop from where we're at to here, from where we're at to here, 17 to 18% drop. Easy, easy. So again, that puts you at $4.33 theta. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. But if you remember correctly, we talked about something lower, much lower, clear down here in the $2.50 range. So do not rule it out, kids. Do not rule it out. It would be Theta front runs the market, and that's kind of been my observation. And just to kind of, I just curious to see how bad of a drop that would be. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. In a real screamer to the bottom, 52% could happen. I'm not saying it would happen in one fell swoop. Might be a couple of bad days at the races where we get a 20 and a 20 and a 10, or a 30 and a 20, or whatever combination percent drop. But yeah, it could in a series of oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, to the bottom, yes, we very well could get to 52%. But Anubis has given us these prices twice. We have double confirmation of this twice. So I'm not ruling it out, because many times you guys have been with me for a while. I've seen these come from behind hits that just, when everything's going up, all of a sudden she goes sour and down she comes right dead on to these predictions that just seem to be all but hope is lost. So do not rule this out. But in the short term, I would definitely tell you that I feel pretty good about at least a little bit of a pullback, even if we're just in a normal healthy market. We're probably coming down to $4.31. So be looking for that. If you're good with that, buy it. I'm good with that. But if you're really a rock and roller and you want to just get that great white hope of being able to get this back in the day of, if I just would have bought Theta at 250, I'll tell you a little some stuff about that. Theta, I've talked to a lot of diamonds that are in this going, well, should I sell some of my Theta and get into this DAO project? Yes. Yeah. Next question. Because Theta is not going to be hitting its super stride. So let's discuss this. Theta is going to have a time where it's going to be dormant. I think I've explained this. Now that we're on Theta, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit of how the electronic industry works. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly or not. So for those of you that don't know, I have a number of businesses that I'm part of that I've founded. One of my very first companies that I founded was one called Raw Power Laboratories. And I was an audio, I built subwoofers. I say speakers, but I mean subwoofers, the stuff that makes your car rattle. When someone 18-year-old kid pulls up next to your door or next to your car, yeah, blame me. I'm the one that gave him the subs. And so I made a great amount of money back in the 90s doing this, and 1990 was my greatest year. And I made my first $1 million in my first company, and so I invested that in real estate. Not the point of the story, but during my tenure, which was about 4 years, 4.5 years of being in the electronic industry, I learned a great deal about how market cycles work with electronics and the consumer goods in general. And so I'd like to share that with you so you can understand how this plugs into Theta. So Theta is, let's look at Theta and ask ourselves, what is Theta? Well, Theta is an entertainment coin. Are you feeling entertained right now? Do you feel like you need some entertainment right now? It's not the greatest problem the world is facing. It's, you need finance, you need money. A lot of people escape into Theta, but let me back up and tell you how this plugs into something with technology. So if I have a new product, what I manufacture is I manufactured car audio amplifiers, subwoofers from 3 inches all the way up to 27-inch, big subwoofers, tip your car over subwoofers. And so what I would do every single year is when I had my new product, I would have to start. So the whole world still works like it publishes magazines. Let's start from that perspective. So magazine publishing, and we have a lady in here who's a former executive for the Discovery Channel who's now with us in our Diamond. And so thank you, Erin, very much for joining us. Glad to have you. Hope you're in the chat tonight. Hope you're in the videos tonight. And so we had a talk, and we were talking about she's a Theta holder, and I said, so here's the reason why I want you to heavily consider maybe backing down off your Theta, because she knew what I said was correct. When you start to, when you roll a new product out, so let's use Samsung as an example. Samsung, let's say it has this new whiz bang, XXX TV. They're going to come out it's the first week, I believe, the first week of every single year coming up here shortly. They have in Las Vegas, Nevada, what's called CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. The Consumer Electronics Show is everything that has electricity going through it. Doorbell manufacturers all the way up to televisions and satellites and anything that's consumer electronics and stuff that's ancillary to it. So you've got people making cell phone cases there. This is where buyers for stores like Best Buy and the small stores and the mom and pop, this is where buyers go to look at the new product that's available for the year, and they make contacts and they become dealers and brokers. And this is the Super Bowl for the consumer industry on the wholesale side. So let's just leave it at that. So this is, you go into Vegas, and they have this at the Sands Convention Center, and you go in there, and it's like 3 long, wonderful, glorious days of just looking at all kinds of cool crap. And so if you are a rep or a buyer or something like that, you're going to basically go around, and you're going to meet and greet and meet your old suppliers and stuff like that, and just kind of see what's coming out. And you're going to put in your orders. You're going to put in your blanket orders for what's coming in for the year. So let's put a pin in that. Let's go back. How do we know if we're going to do this? We have to have support media. All right, and support media is so it's a very tight running ship that happens with this. So if we're coming out with XXXL 1000 G Whiz Bang TV, that doesn't just come out of nowhere. There has to be a line of things that have to happen well in advance of CES. So first thing we have to do is we have to put out publications. Publications is where everything starts in the electronic industry. So if you're going to roll out a product, you're going to want to have full media support. You're going to want to have your stuff in the magazines. You're going to want to be in the yearly buyer's guides for the televisions or the car audio or whatever. Now, those get published starting in October. So if I'm publishing if I'm car audio and stereo review, I'm publishing in October for what rolls through the press, goes through distribution, and comes out to the distribution floor, to the magazines, to the grocery stores, et cetera, and comes out as the quote-unquote December issue. With me? Okay. So I have to, if I'm manufacturing, my 1000 watt amplifier, I got to go back even sooner, and I have to have photos made and models hired, and I have to have my commercials made and whatever I'm doing low about for starting in the middle of the previous summer, to have all my shit straight so I can support it, so I can give it to the television people and to the print people and to all the media, so that they could get it in their system and push it forward so that it rolls and comes out on the air and on in print and whatever in January. Are you with me? So this is a very important concept, and then I am going to tie this to Theta, and make a case for why Theta ain't doing jack for a while, and watch me be right about this. So what happens in January? So in January, in car audio review and television and stereo hi-fi or whatever you want to call it, magazines, they put in a presence also at CES. They have a booth, and they're handing out free copies and trying to get subscribers, because it's an incestuous relationship between consumer advertising and magazines. Magazines need them, they need the magazines. Magazines need the manufacturers need the magazines. And so it's an incestuous relationship based upon, one guy needs the other to survive. If one goes down, they both go down. So they're all there at Consumer Electronics Show. So let's take this now live on the floor, January, in the height of the Consumer Electronics Show. Now, in order to start talking about this, we've got all of our press that we had done and stuff like that. Now, in the old days, back in my day, we didn't have computers. We had computers, but we didn't have this thing called the internet. And so there would be press leaks once in a while. And this is important to the concept. We had press leaks that happened once in a while. We leaked stuff to the press. Here's a little something you know about this TV or whatever. But in this day and age, where everything's electronic and instant, we are still operating like we are printing magazines. If you want to be out in these online guides and stuff like that, you still have to be on that quarter year thing. And so they still adhere to that, because there is still a bit of a print press and stuff like that. So the point that I'm making is this. What I just told you, uh, if I'm taking photos of all my product and I'm doing this and that, don't you think somebody, so let's talk about that G-Whiz Bang 1000 XXL TV. If it had a Theta TV app in it, and this is where the point I was making with my diamond, is that's going to be the thing that's going to propel Theta to next level. Yes, I'm aware of Theta TV. Yes, I'm aware of other stuff like that. But we all know, those who invest in Theta know they have a relationship with Samsung. So the person I'm watching, or the company I'm watching, is I'm watching Samsung. And I'm telling you right now, Samsung has not rolled out anything announcing an app being built into their phones or televisions on a broad scale that's going to be on the floor of the CES here in about 3 weeks. Period. End of sentence. The next chance they get to do that is the next one, a year from now. You follow what I'm saying? So how are most people going to discover Theta? They're going to pick. They're going to buy that that newfangled iPhone 65 or what the hell ever the model is at that time. And they go, oh, what's this app? Oh, Theta TV. And that's how it's going to take off, kids. That's exactly how it's going to take off. Or they're going to buy a Vizio television and they're going to play with all the apps that are built in. And they're going to see Theta TVs built into it. You know how when you go get your televisions now, there's a YouTube app built in. Same thing. So that's, in my mind, in my group's mind, exactly how you're going to see Theta take off. That's going to be the quote-unquote killer app. So unless and until we see that, Theta is not going to go to those $3,500 prices that we all know and hope is going to happen. So my point being, so I went around the park here to describe the view to bring you up to speed on this. So with that argument, securely in our understanding, we're looking at the price of Theta. We're going, yeah, it could go up a couple bucks, but it could go more. I just told you the reason why it won't. So now we look at the cost of the Dow. The Dow is putting out money today, tomorrow, the next day, every single day. Not to tell tales out of school. Some of you guys have already heard how deep I am into this. I'm into it 6 figures. I'm into it very deep, and I'm going to go into it 7 figures. But right now, currently, it's kicking out about $10,000 a month to me right now. It's kicking out some good money. Sorry, I might have been off on my price there. Let me do my. I'm sorry, it's kicking out $8,000 a day. I'm sorry, I misspoke on that. I was looking at a different figure. It's kicking out $8,000 a day to me. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Now, bear in mind, I'm investing a lot more money than most of you guys are, but you can scale that down. Now, can you say that about Theta? No. Can you say that about Shiba? No. So this is what I'm saying. If you are looking at some of these non-performers, I want you to give it serious consideration to possibly looking at our DAO project. Now, I'm not saying it's the great savior, but I'm showing you, you guys lean on me because you're looking for something that's going to show some fruit. And I'm showing you probably one of the juiciest, ripest apples I've ever seen in crypto since I've been in the space. And it kicks off seeds that you can grow other trees with, and to carry that metaphor to the end. So anyway, that's story time. I just want to make sure you guys understand where I'm at with this. So it gets back to the fastest pony in the race thing that we always talk about. Theta's a good one, but it's not the fastest one. Shiba's maybe a good one, but it's certainly at this point not the best one. So the fastest horse we got in our stable right now is called a DAO, and that's the one I want you guys to read up on, learn on. If you're interested in being in our project that we're doing right now, definitely send me a private DM. I'd love to get you in on it. So it's something that I think is going to be a game changer coming in 2020 and 2022. All right. So as far as Theta goes, what do I see in the short term? I see probably a little bit more juice left in the squeeze, but I think we're ready for a little bit of a downturn on that. So, all right. T-Fuel, always this again, talking about the DAO. I mean, if you have something that's kicking out funds all the time, this would be a great one to just take some of that free money that kicks off and then put it into this thing and just use it to just constantly be rolling up and down. This one's starting to show off levels like it wants to kick up a little bit too, and we're probably going to go up to about 25.22 cents. So we've got a little bit more going up here. We're kind of in a rounded bottom. So I think our next stop is probably going to be about 25.6. So if some of you guys are in this and may have possibly bought at the bottom, you're looking for an exit, this might be a good spot to think about getting out at about 25 and a quarter, 0.2525. VeChain, much the same thing. VeChain has had a good run up, and this is no longer active. I can see it's already kind of getting squishy a little bit. We're starting to dump and roll. So I always like to look at the entire broad market. Yeah, look at that bot march. See here, this is good to show. If you don't think there's such a thing as manipulation, then explain what you're looking at there. All the way down. That's a computer. That's what bots look like when they're doing their dirty work. Right there and right there. Um, they're basically just chopping this along, trying to get people in. They're dialing it down. So we had what may loosely be described as a cup and handle. What you could have inferred from that is you could have inferred we should take this opening move and go up, like I said. But as you can very clearly see, they're taking it down, and it's going to continue to go down. There's nothing about any of these indicators that thinks that this is going to go up. So VeChain could pull all the way back down here to 0.88738 and further lower than that. So first stop down. Well, let's just do this. I'm just gonna be loose in this. Yeah, it'll probably run about there. If ISIS comes down, let's just put it there basically for right now. But I do see that probably coming down a little bit lower when she starts making lines down here. So down in this general area would be a pretty good stop. So there's your opening move, there's your closing move. So. So I haven't checked in on the OMG for a while. That's our free play that we do. So if you guys are new to the broadcast, you don't have to necessarily subscribe to the charts. We like to everybody to have a piece of the pie here. You know, it's the holidays, so I give away. I give a free call. I have one dedicated one that I follow, and that's OMG. And way back in the day, I told you guys this thing was going to go to 20 to 25 bucks, and I hit it exactly like I told you. So we've already hit our goal of 20, and then we roll back down, but we're not done yet. There's still plenty to go. So now here we are back down at 0.675, and I do believe we're going to go lower. You know, if we scoop back down there to, I don't know, let's see, if we get back down here into like the mid fives, wouldn't be a bad buy, but I think we'll probably go down here one more time and touch off on this. If we get down here, you may want to consider, you guys that are kind of riding the free train, just to taste me and see if what I have to offer is for real. If we grab this right here, grab it, because we're going to turn, and when things start going, we're going to go up to 20 and 25 and beyond. I hit my target, my first target I hit early. I said by the end of the year, and it happened almost a month ago, right as I said it would. So this is one that you want to keep an eye on, and we do give access to this chart so guys can kind of see how their test investment is doing. If you guys want to paper trade or whatever, you can do that too. So Dent's been a hell of a thing, hasn't it? Let's go ahead and do one day on that. I like to do Dent on one day. So this shocked a lot of people, but it didn't shock me because I showed you already what was going to happen. Anubis, I have a new component that I put into Anubis. It's called a sine wave, a long count, short count sine wave. I'm showing the long count on this, and you can see exactly how accurate this thing is. It rolls up and down and up and down, and so naturally where we were supposed to go. People said, well, we're going to continue down, and I knew this was not going to go down and dump further. So let me get all this trash out of here and I'll show you. So you can see how it followed that sine wave just beautifully. So this was expected. So is this the start of the takeoff? A lot of you guys want to get in because you saw the call that I did on this that took it up 80% or something like that. When I got in on this, I called this just beautifully when it was time to get the hell out. And if you guys listened to me, you locked in probably 80, 85, 90% returns. And I told you it's not, it meandered its way down. We're on a one-day chart, by the way. It meandered its way down for a while, and I said, just walk away from this, guys. It's going to find its way down, and it's taken a while, like I said, though, but we got down to here, and we look like we're bouncing up, but I'm telling you that I do not believe for a single second that that's the end of it. So to kind of zoom in on this a little bit here, and I'll give you a little bit more opinion on that. I hear some of you guys are having problems with TradingView. I've been kind of fighting with it too. I fight with it all the time, but I've been having some extra special problems with it. All right, so here's our sine wave. Our sine wave is indicating that we've got an up cycle, and yes, we do. So we have to take that sine wave as kind of a general roadmap for direction, and then we plug it into all the supports and resistances and all that stuff like that. So broadly speaking, I would expect probably to hit the bottom of that sine wave, roll across there, and then start working our way down from there. And I'm being very broad about that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it probably get up in that general area. But I think our first resistance will probably start right about where we're at. I mean, this is about the max that I expected it'll probably get into, is that circle. But I think we're played out for right now, because it's moving the same way the rest of the market. It's going to start feeling the pull. As soon as this starts to wilt a little bit, you can kind of see we're rolling over just a little bit. We're starting to, and this is a 1 day chart, so it takes a while. But we're starting to roll just a little bit. And I think if we're looking at, I've got a lot going on this thing here. You can see that's another little thing that I've been working on, a little theory I've been working on. But our next cycle meaning change of direction. See this line right here, how it just plunged right in terms with that cycle marker. See that plunge right there? Right in line with that cycle marker. See the turn and the boost? Right in line with that cycle marker. So I think that what we'll probably end up doing is we'll probably walk along a little bit. We'll hit about the cycle marker and down she comes. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So I don't think that we've lost the opportunity to buy in this range, and that's where I want to see you guys get in at. So Polkadot, we're going to start talking more about Polkadot, because that Dow thing is related to Polkadot. Polkadot, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Red Bear's going to fill us in on the deeper, darker details of everything, and he'll explain why the relevance of Polkadot related to this. So what I'm telling you is this: when from this point forward, related to the Dow, you're going to hear me talking about why it's imperative that you consider looking at Polkadot as something you want to own, because the Polkadot ecosphere is related to this Dow, and where this goes, everything goes. When it gets good, Polkadot should just blow the hell up. So, and we're looking at right now $28.86, which it has been higher. It definitely has been higher. I bought myself some right here. I bought myself about 100,000 shares of this, and I've been kind of happy to see I got one, and up she goes. It does look, to a little surprise, it does look like it's trending up, and I would not be surprised to see we got a little bit of juice left. I don't feel that this one's necessarily going to get sucked down like the rest because of the things that it's got going on for it. So I think that the real resistance to be watched for is probably right there. If you're thinking long game, then it's irrelevant. Probably not a bad time to just consider do it. Just do it. Because the greater game here is this is going to go many X higher. Once this thing becomes, oh man, we need this, it'll kind of be the same relevance as Ethereum. It's going to be the backbone of a system that's going to be highly used. And so never a bad thing. But we will cover more Polkadot relevance in this upcoming live stream tomorrow. So be a part of that for sure. So Reef again is another one. One thought that comes to mind, a lot of you guys, I'm sorry I've been busy with this DAO project and stuff like that, so you're probably having woo-woo withdraw, 3 weeks, no Veronica. Wanted to give it a break for a while. I mean, because it is not the prime thing that this channel does, so I was kind of giving it a break a little bit because, some people that are not into that, we got to kind of respect them too. We reserve Thursdays for doing that. I wanted to get one in on the Friday before we went into Christmas break, but just too busy, guys. Got too much exciting stuff going on and just not enough time for idle chatter. So one thing I do want you to understand and respect is the stuff that I do for free on public channels. This is not what I do. I do this because I want to draw new subscribers in. I do this because I want more VIPs in the group at the unfairadvantage.chat and of course fibbycharts.com. So this is secondary leisure time that I like to spend with my friends and family here. And so this is not the core work. And I want to be very upfront about that because some people are like, well, you hardly ever make videos. You're not buying my videos. I'm giving you my videos. So let's be clear about that. When I got time, I'm more than happy. But if you really want to get in on what I'm doing, I do these videos in VIP in the paid section. Been kind of slow this week because there just hasn't been that much to talk about. But obviously when there is, I'm Johnny on the spot with that. But I do want to make it clear that the guys that are in the free subscriptions here, you're getting what you're paying for. Remember that you always get what you pay for. And so I'm planning on probably dialing back the woo-woo stuff a little bit because I want to bring her in to the group. I don't want to start doing this on a subscription basis because I think she's proved herself to be quite the talent, and it's time to put her behind a paywall. Sorry, but it's just the truth. I think we're going to start doing live streams with Veronica, probably in VIP only. So if you guys are interested here very, very soon, we might do maybe one occasionally, but I think we're probably going to start doing woo-woo chats with Veronica, potentially possibly in VIP here after the first of the year. So I'll keep you abreast of that and let you know what's going on with that. So occasionally we might wheel her out in the public and show everybody what's going on. But the fun's gonna be gonna be in the clubhouse, guys. It's gonna be in the treehouse. You're gonna have to be in the treehouse, or you can't be a part of the cool stuff. You gotta be in with the cool kids. All right, so one of her favorite coins, she calls it the shiny lady, or the pretty lady, is I think is what she calls it. I can't remember, but the pretty lady's doing pretty good. So again, to kind of go back and re-explain, when I brought this thing to you guys, I told you buy it, and I bought it at the dark blue dotted line, and right after my prediction, up she went, 90%, and she's finally come down. Never surprised me it ever would come down this, but I do have this thing currently. It's sitting at basically 2 pennies, 2 cents. In a crash scenario or in a downward scenario, I already have the targets picked out. I already highly anticipate them. I would not at all doubt that it's probably going to get down to a penny and a half. Wouldn't have a problem for any of you guys just saying, good enough, I'm in. I'm probably going to buy a little at a penny and a half just to make sure I'm in on this because you guys are new to the live stream, have never heard my prediction for this. I predict in 3 to 5 years, $3.36 on a penny and a half crypto. Not too bad. These are the kinds of things you want to use that Dow dry powder producing machine for. I mean, buy the crap out of it. Get the money producing coin first and use it to buy this other stuff. There's no rush on Reef. You don't have to get in and go get. It's not a matter of Reef versus Dow or Reef versus something else. You want Reef, no doubt about it. You want Reef. But the question is when do you want Reef? And so you want to pick that fastest pony, as I always am prone to saying. I'll do Sol for you. I haven't talked about that for a while. So these are the kinds of coins that we're going to be looking at with the profit. Pardon me, my phone's buzzing here if you're hearing that on the broadcast. So we're going to be looking at these coins as what do we buy with this new money that we've got kind of thing. So my key component here is I want to be able to get something in your hands that you guys are spinning off residual profit and then make things better from there. So Reef is definitely should be top on your shopping list after you do the right thing. So I'll go back up here and I'll hit Solana here because I think somebody asked me, where did I put Solana? She's down here. There we go. Haven't talked about Solana for a while. So Solana really is just going sideways, ain't it, man? I mean, this thing just would not stop climbing. And, this had to happen. I mean, it's not that surprising that it's going sideways. But, what we've got, I'm going to have to scale out on this because I have a feeling I know what I'm looking at here. My favorite crypto formation. Yeah, huh? Now I'm going to zoom in on a 6-day here. I want to be 100% sure what I'm talking about here. So Solana, I kind of suspected, it's interesting that you asked me about this because I looked at this the last time I looked, and I was kind of getting a sneaky suspicion that what I was looking at may in fact be what I think it's going to start to turn. So we've got one hell of a run. That's an opening move. Actually, it could be 50% of this, or it could be construed to be the whole of this. So if we wanted to say, all right, let's just take half of this maybe, and I'm not going to be able to do it with all the background noise. But basically this difference right here, if we go to the high end, we might be seeing probably 500, and let's just go ahead and call it about $550. If she turns and we close this move, She's coming down to probably about 70. Well, we'll just call it about 78, 79. Conservatively, maybe $80. So you've got a low of $80. You've got a high of about $550. My money, my bet. Oh, hang on. My bet is, I mean, what do you think my bet is? This this thing's been going berserk for a while. I think we need some good old-fashioned downturn, is what I think. And so I think that comes in terms of being probably knocked back down to about 75, $80. That's what I think. I mean, really take a God's honest look at this and tell yourself and ask yourself, do you think something should do that without a hard pullback eventually? Let me scale that back a little bit. I mean, we're due. We are due. So where's our first resistance? Well, we have a dual AI line. You can't see it right here, but we have a dual AI line right here, which would be 50% of a total move of down here at $33, which would be your largest, broadest. Am I suggesting Solana is going to go from 194 to $33? No, I'm not suggesting that. Am I suggesting that it could hard crash down to $75? Well, wouldn't that be grand? A $200 coin going down to $75? Yeah, that would be a pretty hard day for people that are in this thing at $200. Here's what I would say to you on this. Uh, I don't know that I would be aping in buying any more at this price because you've got something that has to turn direction here. So there's a calculated gamble. Let's just call it this way. There's a calculated gamble. If you're in love with Sol, if you thought you wanted to get it, I wouldn't encourage you to do it at the prices anywhere near the prices we're at. But we have our first 50% stop right there at about, right about $80 conservatively, anywhere from 75 to $80. Put in an order at 75 to $80, and if and ride it out for a couple of weeks. If we get a hard downturn, boom, she's gonna fill. She is gonna fill because that's where it's got to go to. So it'll drop to about that area and probably turn and go up because she's a strong coin. But everything still has to have its downturn season. So that's where I'm at with that. So this has been a fun one. Crypto.com I've been watching this with great interest. So you guys know the story. We went to Vegas and Crypto.com was pasted on every building there. It was crazy. They went through their advertising. Again, that's kind of like that Vegas story I just told you. They have a certain time of year where they launch their advertising and go, 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 go. So some of you guys have indicated that we might see another blast of Crypto.com around Super Bowl. I would agree. I would agree. So we're looking at a possibility where we might see a downturn, and then we see the Super Bowl ad that's inevitably probably going to roll out, and all the related ads are going to go with it. And yeah, we'll probably see another boost of Crypto.com. I mean, they would be fools not to be advertising on that. So let me get a little wider pullback. Let's look at the 6 hour and see, do we have some buying opportunities or some price points where we can pick up Crypto.com. Look at that. Isn't that great? Yeah, just off the stinking charts. Jeez. Okay, so currently what we're getting is this. We're getting kind of I wouldn't necessarily kind of call it a three wave, but we're getting, something it's kind of working its way into one of them dues right there. Okay. Very, very clearly the support is right there, right in that area there. So you're looking at a support of about 48, 48.25. If you wanted to probably buy in, currently it's 60. I don't know. I would probably say a safety buy if you want to just make damn sure you don't miss the train. Might be at about 56 cents just to kind of get it done. But if you want to hold out to the better bottom and get in at about 48, 49 cents, barring any kind of crash scenario, the way I see this, my gut feeling tells me, is we we will probably see a roll down here, and if we manage to hold support, and we've had let's see, excuse me again, let me do this properly. We've had one test, we've had two tests, we've had three tests right there. So you know what happens? She goes like this, she goes up, and she smashes forth, and they capitulate. It's possible. We've had a lot recently that have tested 4, 5, even 6 times before breaking through the floor, and some that test that many times and don't. So don't consider the 3-test rule to be valid or relevant at this point. What I'm saying is this. This is the known right here. Be okay with that, because I think that what we've really got, let's go ahead and pull this forward here. What I'm thinking to myself is, when does the Super Bowl happen? We'll just put it at the end of January. So let's look at the window and the possibilities. So here's December 22nd. Let's take it all the way to January. I'm going to take it to the complete end. I don't know when the Super Bowl actually is, but let's just say it's usually around Chase's birthday, which is on the 28th. So we're looking. Let's just take it to the end of February, just to be on the safe side. So the end of February. Whoops. Okay, right about. Okay, so basically right about there. All right. So we've got, that's your window. So you got that amount of area there to crash or do what it's going to do before theoretically advertising happens during the Super Bowl, where conservatively maybe there somewhere between here and here to play out something, maybe go down lower and then J hook and come back up on the Super Bowl ad. So again, you guys know how J hooks work. You know, they go down and they go up. So sorry, that was kind of a mess to look at. Let me clear house here. So what I'm saying is, if we get a triangle right here like this, what usually happens is we might go like this. We might J hook down to the support right here. And as we go through this, we hit crypto.com advertising and off we go. I believe that's probably how this is going to play. I do believe that sounds very, very probable. So let's see if that happens. So possibility is, if that happens, then you're probably looking at anywhere from where I said 40, and if you want to play it to the very bottom, I see a strong support at about 36. Let's just go ahead and call it 37 cents. 37 cents would be a very logical buy point. A little bit more aggressive would be 30 cents. But below that, you know, you're just speculating. But I think that we've seen enough of these moves play like this that I think those are probably the prices. 30 cents would probably be a pretty easy price to obtain for that. And then you buy and you hold, because what is crypto.com? In a nutshell, it's a better way to trade than Coinbase. Coinbase needs some good old-fashioned competition, and this is what this is. So I could be wrong, but has anybody ever seen maintenance, quote unquote, maintenance happening with crypto.com like it does so frequently with Coinbase? Has anybody had a down market or a down time or a down network with crypto.com in their trading? I don't know, so I'm putting it to the group to ask. So have any of you guys suffered any of the shenanigans that Coinbase is almost poster child for? I'd be curious, because if you haven't, then there's all the more a case why this is going to be a serious threat to Coinbase. Coinbase definitely needs to step up their game. They really, really do. All right, I want to take a look at Quant. Quant is an ISO coin, guys. Um, I told you guys that this thing was going to blast off, and she did. Now, I see something. Okay, so um, for you guys that are new on live stream, I'm kind of notorious for my unique insight on these things, and I have my own little terminology for things. And there's something called a sleeper, which basically means it's just a flat line, does nothing. It's not going up, not going down. Characteristics of a sleeper is they always get a hiccup, and then they roll, and then what happens after that, guys? Off we go. Quant looks like a sleeper. It looks like a sleeper. It's got the characteristics of one. It's flat. It's got our middle hiccup. All the pieces of the pie are there. So consider yourself warned. Quant is about to wake up. Consider yourself warned. Listen to me. I'm talking to you. All you guys that said you wished you would have listened to me on Populous, pay good attention. Quant is about to wake up. Let's take a look at Algorand. Also an ISO coin. I'd like to see, not necessarily so sleeperish. This one's a little more, got a little more ruckus going on with it. As one goes, I'll go too. So I believe that we might be getting into a random bottom, a rounded bottom here. We might be making a move to the upside. So if you don't have enough quant in your bags, you might want to think about getting into it, because I think we're probably going to easily see probably at least a little run right there to that, and then from there we'll see what's going on. So that's a fairly modest run, but 28% to the middle of that would probably be about 16. That's got the potential to be a pretty good little money maker there, guys. I wouldn't have too much of a problem with you guys buying at $1.57. Yes, there's a possibility it'll go down. I wouldn't worry about it though. Calculated gamble. If I had some free money, if I was the average listener to this show right now, February 13th, so that spring star window. Yes, in fact, I do believe that what I just showed you with the J hook will probably play out then. That strengthens my position. So anyway, back to algo. We do have some TA here that would probably suggest that we will in fact see boom, boom, right there, right to the vector. So quite possible, quite possible. So that is a possibly about 20%. And you guys know 20 to 21%, very doable, happens all the time. Usually in a good market when we don't have shenanigans, that's expected. 20% is opening move for anything. Usually that's probably a poor choice of words. It's old hat. It's just very normal, And so 20% moves in a market that's going up, that would be expected at the bare minimum, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I would not have a problem with you guys jumping in at anywhere from $1.57 to $1.60, because I think it's probably going to, in short term, we're on our way up. And I think as Quant will probably do what it's about to do, it'll probably drag algo up behind it. Of the two, I would probably put my money on Quant, because it's showing such a clear-cut example of something that's about to do what we've seen so many times happen. So I'm just fishing for something. I'm just trying to find you guys something that can pan out here. So we had a couple taps to the top of the box there. So this one's just kind of trying to find its way through life. There's no really, this is what I said at the top of the show. We're not seeing any clear market direction, and this is a pretty good case. I mean, there's nothing you can pull from that other than just speculation. So nothing much to say there. I'm watching some key ones, so if I got something to say about it, I'll say it. But again, not seeing anything here that's really panning out. Graph, I haven't visited a few of these, so we're going to kind of walk through a few of these. If I see something that really looks like gold, I'll bend over and pick it up and show you. But this would be a fairly good case. We've got that, again, a very similar chart to an earlier one when I said you got that big opening move. What are you going to do with it? So if we wanted to just conservatively take that opening move right there and say, okay, what are we going to do with that? Are we going to go down or are we going to go up? If we go up, bam, hits exactly on that AI line. So if we do in fact go up with graph, we always have to look at the 50% move, but the total move is 36%. 50% of that is 19%, which you have resistance right there. So it's roughly about 24%. So that one would be a fairly decent gamble for a short-term blast before we probably do whatever we're going to do and turn down again. Odds are probably pretty good on that one right there for graph. And I told you I wouldn't be wrong, and I'm reiterating: don't chase trends. So this thing, Dick Algeier called this, bravo Dick. He called this one, and she did it. She did it. But I told you, do not get excited because there's nothing to follow, and I was right. So when you see something like this is the absolute last thing you do is ape in after this and start trying to get in, and hope that you're going to catch it on another bounce. Sometimes it will do that. Sometimes Matic did it. Something will do like that, and then it'll go up again, and it'll go into like a three-wave type thing. No guarantee. The bigger they are, the faster they fall and stay flat. And I saw just a massive run up in this, and I knew that it didn't have the characteristics of something that would pick up a 50% retrace, and I was right. Flat as a pancake. So Val is just, wait it out. It'll come back if you absolutely got to have that cute little coin. No reason on jumping in on it yet. So it had its moment in the sun, and now now it's done. And the same with, let's get on to it. So Gala and Sand, I want to open those two. So when back when the metaverse thing was being talked about, and it was hot, hot, hot property, and it was just blasting off, and everybody was just buying the hell out of everything that was associated to the metaverse. That explains what's going on here. It also explains when that hype train was over, she followed right down my trend line, went flat, and blah, whatever. Now, what is this? Does this mean it's the start of another trend? Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I will tell you though that I seriously doubt. Um, well, let me think about that for a second. No, I don't think so. So the question I'm asking myself here, if I'm not speaking out clearly, is how much of a presence will Metaverse have at CES? I'm glad I brought and told you this story. It probably will have a very strong because what is Metaverse? Well, they want you sitting in your little cubicle with your things strapped to your face. Those things that strap to your face, they're going to be rolled out in CES. So yes, this is probably a pre-run uh, expectancy to see the hype that's going to come out wave two of metaverse in CES. Yes, I do believe this has a little bit of validity. So will this go higher? I can't forecast it higher, but I will tell you that this trend may very well continue based upon the story that I told you and the fact that I'll go back and for the kids that don't follow my line of thinking here. So if metaverse, as I told you with Theta, Metaverse has a tie into hardware, electronic manufacturers, the people that are going to make the Oculus Rifts and all the stuff that are going to work with Metaverse, where you sit with a thing strapped to your face and a whole altered reality bullshit thing that you do. Um, that product needs to go to a Best Buy. It needs to go to an Amazon. It has to have buyers. It has to be rolled out, and they're going to be there doing these big ass presentations and stuff. See if I can find something real quick. I don't ever do this on broadcast, but I feel compelled to do this. So hold on just a second. CES and Metaverse. Who called that one, baby? Hold on just a second. Who's your boy? Told you. I ain't new to this, kids. I've been around. I've seen some things. So when I talk, I'm not talking out of the lower mouth. Listen to me because I've been around. This is this is going to be big. This is going to be big. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a giant. See, and again, what did I tell you this is? Press. Press. There it is right there. Everything I just told you. So let's check at this. Let's go a little bit further because I like to kind of gloat. So this is your press release. This is related to Theta. This is the new way they do press. They're called pressers. This is the way they do press releases. So this is how you know a Theta is coming out 3 months ahead of time. This is the new way of doing it. And so you would know about all the stuff that's coming out because they want you to come to their booth and buy their stuff. They want you to meet Lauren and they want you to see the holographics thing and they want you to do this and that. So here's your CES press kit. If you're in the media, you click on this. Let's go ahead and go through. I can't open that up, I guess. But you click on this and it shows you all the new products, all the new players, and you can go to seminars. You can get behind closed doors. You can actually touch the stuff and experience it and spend money on it. So it's very real, guys. This is it. So back to this. Is this real? Yes. Will it continue? Consider this a done deal. It's going to go higher. I truly do believe it's going to go higher with what I just said. So might want to jump back on the meta train here. So I'm going to make a prediction here. I have an open sand. I'm looking at sand right now. I'm going to make a prediction that I bet we're going to see probably the same thing for Gala. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Now, games are huge in CES. I mean, back when Nintendo ruled the world, I mean, Christ, man, there were acres and acres of like Nintendo displays and everybody making cartridges for Nintendo and game controllers, and it's just all the ancillary product and gaming consoles and the special gaming chairs and anybody that had anything to do with Nintendo was kind of wrapped around that whole middle center of Nintendo. And it took up like, I don't know how many friggin' acres in the CES, and video games were massive. And again, there still are. So all your new favorite video games, they roll out in CES. So it's not just necessarily hardware, it is software as well. The line is getting kind of blurry at CES on that. So I will tell you that like something like Gala games and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to see this thing take off here. Probably, I would expect a little bit of a boost from this, um, probably for the next 2 weeks, easily. So maybe a good time to get into this. If you're pro Gala and you want to take a shot, it may go down a little bit, but Uncle Barron here, I think he knows something, so you might want to possibly think about it. All right. Now, IOTX, I kind of pretty much gave you my prediction on this. I said I think we're going to work our way down. I did that up here, and so we're doing so far. We've got about 50%. Um, now the next question is: are we going to do this? Are we gonna kick out? If the rest of the market goes down, yes, we've got a big opening move. We have to do something. So we shall see. But I think any run like this has to kind of pull back a little bit, and I think that's where that is very clearly. That's Internet of Things, IOTX. Let's see what else we want to talk about here. One more engine. Um, I don't put an awful lot of emphasis on this coin. However, Veronica likes it. Veronica Jane likes it. She calls it a shiny coin, and so it is doing well. It's got a rounded bottom and it's headed on up. So I think let's go ahead and use standard TA here. I'll squish it down. Let's use standard TA and see how high we can take this. So if we go from, I'm going to have to be conservative about this, but I'm gonna reverse engineer this a little bit, see if I can make it fit. I'm gonna fit my narrative back to my, yeah, I'll call that close enough for hand grenades. Okay, so basically what I would expect here, and there we go. There's our resistance right there, just what I would expect. So we've got a lot of resistance right there. We've got a dual AI line right there. We've got a rounded bottom indicating a move up. We are kind of head in that direction. So where can we go from here? Potentially, we could go up 30%. Now, always, always, always look at it as worst case scenario. So what you're looking at is you might get a single at 15%, you might get a home run at 30. So if you jump in on this, I don't think I have too much of a problem because what you've got here is you've got resistance right there. Because once we broke through this, it becomes resistance and it'll continue on up. And that's what we got going on. So our first line of, so we're basically right here. So our first line of resistance is right about, tough call, but like basically right in that general box right there. So the most you would get is from here to here, and then hope to go further. So about 15% is possible, and about 30% is probable. Oh, dog. um, this so far is not violating anything I expected. I mean, we're slightly out of the channel. This is not a very up there. 0.00051 in an optimistic world, but down she goes for wave two, and then again back up to wave three. So something akin to that, much like what we saw in debt, could be shaping up here. Um, from that, let me take it to the. Now I'm looking at a one-day chart, so this is all just talking out my ass a little bit, but what we're looking at here is this, and it's very possible we take half of that. I'm blazing through this. Some of you guys know how to do TA. Very possible we could come down to the dual AI line, and there she is waiting for her right there at the magic number, 0.000008. So it's possible, but if we go half of that, we're looking at about 0.00013. Now I know that Tiny Tank will probably tell you that there are psychics that are predicting that, and I'm telling you that I can see it in these charts. So if I'm to be believed and the other person's to be believed, and whomever you choose to believe is to be believed, it is very probable, as I see this on a one-day chart, that 40135 is in the cards for Shiba. Sorry. But this is a flat bottom triangle, and they only generally end one way in a downward fashion. So let's take one more look at the dog pound. Take a look at this. We'll call it a Christmas. Okay. So this one again, just it's just a dog without a home. It's just everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Um, we're just not really paying attention to this thing right now. I mean, it's not going to be a hot coin to be trading for a good long time until this thing really to spur my interest again, we'd have to have another one of these. And you guys know, Rich called me and said, "Should I get in?" How could you not? And he did. And he made just crazy ass money like he always does. But no, there's no reason to be touching this. It's a rounded bottom. It's too speculative because this thing could turn around and bite you in the butt anytime. I don't like it at this price. So I would rather see this thing down here. Probably I wouldn't even entertain this coin in this current market right now unless we were down here probably at the old magic line that we've had for a while. If she gets down here down to 16 cents, go ahead, jump in. You got my permission. But that's going to take about a 13-14% drop, which not terribly that hard. Um, but that's kind of where I stand with that because this just looks too easy. A gigantic run like that gives back hard and it doesn't come back strong. So, what you likely could get here is you likely could get one of these where it kind of goes sideways and down she goes again. So it's very possible. But again, you can't get hurt buying at 16 cents. We are still below the 25 that I always used to tell you, but this thing just doesn't have the strength that it used to have. So I've kind of lowered my target for what I consider an optimum time down to about 16 and a half cents. So, okay, guys, that's going to be it for Christmas. Thank you very much. My name is Red Baron. Thank you for joining me, and we'd love to have you join us at the unfairadvantage.chat, and of course, join us at fibbycharts.com. Until next time, see you coming forward, going into the new year. Until then, peace and hair grease, baby.